Hey you guys, it's Brett. Thanks for dropping by my channel. So today I wanted to talk about September and September possibilities of what I hope to get to, which is a rapidly changing list. I posted a list, a post the other day and on Instagram with what I hope to get to. And I have to say, like looking back at August, I did really well, which I never do, but I really stuck very close to my TBR. I didn't finish two things that I had on there originally and added different stuff. I would love to do that this month as well. However, it's already changing because there's more stuff that's come out. There's stuff that I think, oh my God, this is so interesting. And how am I going to get, whatever. We all go through that. So let's talk September. All right. So just to give you an update, what I'm currently reading now, one of which was actually on my September TBR list, so I have launched off onto it, and that is Disorderly Men by Edward Cahill. This came out this past Tuesday, the 5th, that was yesterday, the 5th of September. This follows three very different gay men in pre-Stonewall riot New York City, and all three of them from very different walks of life are caught up in a police raid on a gay bar, and kind of what happens. When I heard about this originally, I thought it was all going to be, these three men were going to be thrown together and, it's going to be their night in jail or whatever, but it's not that. They all go to jail, but they get out and it's kind of their lives. I'm only 60 some pages in, almost 70 pages in, but it's really good. I said to someone today, it's kind of like Mad Men, but gay. But it's really well written. Edward Cahill is going to be in Los Angeles doing an event at Chevalier Books, and I'm going to absolutely go see him. That's being moderated by Rashid Newsom. So, but I'm really enjoying this. So there's that. The other thing that I have been actually listening to on audio is The Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas. This is I'm three-quarters of the way through this. This is a little bit of a mixed bag. I mean, a lot of people on Instagram were saying, "Oh my gosh, this is so great! It's so great." So I started to listen to it, and I think it's fine. I mean, here's my thing. It's really, to me, a romance that has some supernatural elements to it. It's not like a para romance kind of book. I think I wanted more vampires since it's called The Vampires of El Norte. I was thinking a vampire story, and there's some in there, but the book has also taken a while to get through. So I will talk more about it when I'm finished, and perhaps my impressions will have changed, but that's just kind of where I am with it now. So that's that. Okay, moving on. The other stuff that I would like to get to. I have a pile of books here, and I'll tell you. The first is The House of Doors by Thanh Tuan Anh. This is another one of the books that is longlisted for the Booker Prize. It is not out here. It doesn't come out until October here in the States. I love, love, love this cover. So I might start this sooner than later. Although, as I've said before, I'm not overly wowed by all of the Booker selections. So I've now read four of them, having just finished this past week, both the Paul Murray, The Bee Sting, and Sebastian Barry's book, Old God's Time, I think. Both of which I loved them, but I feel like I've taken two of the stronger books so far. I could be wrong, and you can please drop into the comments below and tell me other things that I should prioritize. I just don't feel like I need to read all of them. I'm waiting to see what's going to be on the short list in a couple of weeks. But this definitely sounds interesting to me. About the British Empire's incursion into Southeast Asia. Somerset Maugham is in this book as well. So I think the whole thing sounds really interesting. So that's one. Also coming out this month, but not on the Booker list, is The Unsettled by Ayanna Mathis. I will read you a little blurb about this. From the best-selling author of The 12 Tribes of Hattie, a searing multi-generational novel set in the 1980s in racially and politically turbulent Philadelphia and in the tiny town of Bonaparte, Alabama, about a mother fighting for her sanity and survival. I didn't read her other book, The 12 Tribes of Hattie, but I'm hearing great things about this and I'm really looking forward to it. So that is that. The other thing that seems to be all over social media right now is Shark Heart by Emily Haybeck. This is a love story about a woman whose husband starts to turn into a shark. I know it sounds crazy, but people that have read it said it's not as bizarre as it sounds, and it's really more a story about grief and loss. So I'm really looking forward to it. This is also the last book from Book of the Month Club that I've gotten because I canceled my membership strictly because I wasn't reading a lot of the books, and I just kept thinking, why am I spending this money doing this? And if something really catches my eye, I'll get it from the library. But I think I was just caught up in like getting a blue box every month and the whole thing. So, but I am excited about this. It just was ironic that the month that I canceled, these really, what to me seemed like interesting books came up. Also out this month, Lauren Groff, The Vaster Wilds. I think, speaking of Booker, I think this was one of the books that surprised a lot of people that it didn't make the Booker list. A lot of people are saying this is Lauren Groff's best work. This is a colonial sediment and a girl who escapes from it with nothing with her but her wits, a few possessions, and the hot spark that burns within her. I haven't read a Lauren Groff book in a while, so I'm looking forward to this. People Collide by Io McElroy. They wrote The Atmospherians, which I've never read. I've had it forever. I think it looks so interesting. It's just, again, buying books and reading books are two different things. That's a book I bought. I hope to get to it someday. But Jason, my podcast partner, has read this already and said it's really good and really fascinating about a couple whose bodies one morning switch. And kind of what happens, and I say Freaky Friday. I don't know why, because that's what I thought of, but I don't think, I think it's a little more intellectual than that. But it says it explores marriage, identity, and sex, and raises profound questions about the nature of true partnership. So, first of all, I love this cover. I wish you could all feel it because it's very textured, and but I think it's very moody and beautiful. But so I'm really excited about that. And thank you to HarperCollins for this copy. Another book that sounds really interesting and wild, and thank you to Overlook, is Idlewild. I have to read you a little bit about this back, and I'm going to put my glasses on because the light in here is bad and I can't see. A darkly funny story of two adults looking back on their intense teenage friendship in a queer, trans, and early internet twist on the Manhattan prep school novel. Idlewild is a tiny, artsy Quaker high school in lower Manhattan. Students call their teachers by their first names. There are no grades, and every day begins with 20 minutes of contemplative silence in the meeting house. It's during one of these meetings that an airplane hits the Twin Towers. For two Idlewild outcasts, 9/11 serves as the first day of an intense 18-month friendship. Faye is prickly, aloof, and obsessed with gay men. Nell is shy, sensitive, and obsessed with Faye. The two of them bond fiercely and spend all their waking hours giddily parsing their environments for homoerotic subtext. Then, during rehearsals for the fall play, they notice two sexually ambiguous boys who are potential candidates for their exclusive invert society. The pairs become mirrors of one another and drive each other to make choices that they'll regret for the rest of their lives. So, I think it sounds fascinating. I love a campus novel, whether it's high school or college. So, this whole thing sounds really interesting to me. Again, thank you to Overlook. I think they're putting out really, really interesting books lately. Maybe always, but I've just noticed it. Dropping things. Okay, Mother Nature, Jebediah Jenkins. This looks really fascinating to me, and here you go, preview. Jebediah will be coming on the Gaze Dream podcast. His mom, okay, I'm going to just read you this thing. His mother walked across America in the 70s. Her past fascinates him. Her faith confounds him. They embark on a 5,000-mile journey to discover if families can stay together when their beliefs are pulling them apart. So his mom trekked across America in the 70s with her husband. It was a series called Walk Across America. I don't remember it. I was probably too little. I'm going with that. So he decided to redo this trek with his mother today. Now, Jebediah he began his professional career with the nonprofit Invisible Children, where he helped orchestrate multinational campaigns to end the use of child soldiers in South Africa. He is the executive editor of Wilderness Magazine. His work has appeared in the Paris Review and Playboy, and his story has been covered by National Geographic. So anyway, he goes on this trek with his mother. He is gay. His mother is a conservative Christian, and they have and has problems with his lifestyle. So that's kind of centers what the book is about. So I think this sounds really fascinating, and so I'm excited for that. That comes out, by the way, in November. And thank you to Convergent Books, which is a subsidiary of Random House, for this copy. Okay. Midnight is the Darkest Hour. If you don't know Ashley Winstead, she writes thrillers. And Ashley Winstead writes romance novels, which I don't know anything about. I've read her thrillers. I've read the last thriller she wrote, which was her last book, which was called The Last Housewife. It is insane, crazy, trigger warnings because it's just really nuts. However, I loved it. And also, you would never know that when you see Ashley Winstead and hear her talk, that she is the person that is thinking up these dark stories, because she is light and lovely and so sweet, and then thinks up the most effed up scenarios. So this is her latest, which is coming out right in time for spooky season. Someone pitched this as Claire McIntosh said, where the crawdads sings, where the crawdads, okay, I hate the book anyway. So that book meets Twilight, meets Thelma and Louise, and this brilliantly realized, totally original thriller. A killer haunts a small southern Louisiana town, and two outcasts, the preacher's daughter and the boy from the wrong side of the tracks, hold the key to uncovering the truth. So I think this is going to be totally fun, total page turner, total fun, fall book. And that comes out October 3rd. Thank you to Source Books for that. All right, so this wasn't on my original TBR, but the newer edition of this came out, not the newer edition, the next segment, because it's a series, which is Wolfsong by TJ Klune. I love TJ Klune. I love him. I love his mind. I love the way he does. I love the way he is making it his mission to tell positive stories that are around queer people. This is an older book series of his. Wolfsong is the first that Tor has reissued in these really beautiful, gorgeous editions. So this is the first. The second one, Raven Song, came out last month. The next one, Heart Song, will come out in January, and then there's Brother Song, which will follow up. So this has been calling to me, much like the wolves. And so I want to read that. I want to read this. And that's out now. Okay, this book was another book that some people were saying could be longlisted. And I am having a boffo year with Irish writers. Like, I think a lot of my favorite books this year have been from Irish writers. I don't know what's in the water over there. I don't know. Maybe it's just because they've all had troubled childhoods and it's, everything. I don't know. But all I can tell you is loving you, Irish writers. So, Kala by Colin Walsh. I was reading about this when it was only out in Europe before it came out here. And I found a copy on Pango because I'm really trying to not spend money on books unless it's something I can, I love the Pango thing because I can just sell stuff and then build up an account, and I can put my Pango account below for those who are interested, and you can see what I'm putting up there. But I love Pango. Anyway, this is a thriller in the seaside town of Kinlow. On Ireland's west coast, three old friends are thrown together for the first time in years. They, Helen, Joe, and Mush, were part of an original group of six inseparable teenagers in the summer of 2003, with motherless, reckless Calla Landman as their group's white-hot center. Soon after that summer's peak, Calla disappeared without a trace. All right, so I've heard nothing but great things about this. Again, hello, Irish. I am here for you. So this is probably going to be dumping something out of something I've either showed you or whatnot, because I'm prioritizing this. Can't wait to get to it. And I'd love to know if you've read this, what you thought. And I know some of you have read it because... No, you haven't. That was on Instagram. I'm getting confused. Forget it. Just tell me if you wanted me to read it or if you liked it. This is a chunker, but again, I've had this for a while. It looks so interesting to me. Foster Date explores the cosmos. I was really happy to see Jenna on Jenna Bush Hager one morning and talking about this book and just pushing it. It's over 500 pages, and now I'm like, I just did Paul Murray. I just did Wellness. I need some smaller books. But I got to read you. This just says, a searing novel about a tragic scandal at an American prep school. See, there we are, school campus novel, told in the form of a literary investigation. So I think this is his first book, Nash Jenkins, and congratulations to you. And really excited, but really want to read it. And if you've read it, please tell me. Okay, last two. Know nothing about this except Michael Saras, Out of Touch, has reached out to me on Instagram, and his other book, All My Friends Are Rich. I hadn't read that either. I haven't read it, but I know a lot of people love it. This seems kind of like from the author of All My Friends Are Rich comes the romantic tale of Vincent and Teddy, who find each other online at the dawn of social media, perfect for the fans of Alexis Hall and Adam Silvera. Well, I enjoy an Alexis Hall book. So this could be, a nice counterbalance to a heavy Irish book, perhaps. So excited about this, excited to check this out. This comes out the 19th of September, and thank you to Michael for this copy. I'll let you know. Okay, so the last thing is I really would like to get to this because I've been holding on to this for a while and haven't got to yet, which is Fellow Traveler by Thomas Mallon or Thomas Mallon. It's got to be Mallon, right? It's Mallon. Up with the Sun was his latest novel, which I read this year and enjoyed. But this holds a particular interest to me because it is about to be a limited series on Showtime with Jonathan Bailey and Matt Bomer. This is set in 1950s Washington about, during Nixon and Lyndon Johnson and Joe McCarthy. Enter Timothy Laughlin, a recent college graduate and devout Catholic, eager to join the crusade against communism. An encounter with a handsome State Department official, Hawkins Fuller, lead to Tim's first job, and after Fuller's advances, his first love affair. As McCarthy mounts a desperate bid for power and internal investigations focus on, quote, sexual subversives in the government, Tim and Fuller find it more dangerous to navigate their double lives. So, yeah, I'd absolutely like to read this before the series comes out. So, but it's, with everything else right now, it's a little lower on the totem pole. But tell me if you've read this and if I should prioritize it higher, because I do want to read it. All right, so that's September, hopefully. And then I'm going to plug in more audiobooks there. I'm a Stephen King person. Holly just came out, which is the 5th book dealing with his character of Holly Gibney, who first appeared in the Mr. Mercedes novels, the Mr. Mercedes trilogy, and was also in The Outsider by Stephen King. She's an amazing, amazing, amazing character. And so I'm so glad that he gave her her own story. But she's also, it's also narrated by Justine Loop, who, for those who watched the Mr. Mercedes series that you can now stream on Peacock. She plays Holly Gibney, so I'm really happy to see that he has her doing the narration as well because she was great. For whatever reason, when they did The Outsider on HBO, that miniseries, they changed it to Cynthia Erivo, which was just weird to me. But so anyway, Justine Loop, amazing actress. And for those of you who don't know who Justine Loop is, here's a little tidbit. If you watched Succession, she played Alan Ruck, who was kind of, the crazy brother who wasn't even really in the business, who was trying to be a presidential or a senator. She played his prostitute wife, who was a playwright. That's who Justine Loop is. Really talented. Okay, that's your little bit of television trivia for the day. I hope you're having a good week. Let me know what you think of these choices, if any of them speak to you, if any of them have spoken to you, what you've read, what you're reading. Tell me things you think I should read or what you'd like to see highlighted. I also started to think of this. Let me ask you this. Would it be helpful, or would you guys want me to create a bookshop.org page that has the books listed that I talk about? Because I would be open to doing that. So let me know if that's something you guys want. I don't really put the books on the list right below because I think some people will look at the list and be like, I don't care about any of those. I'm not going to watch the video. Maybe I'm wrong. But I just started to think maybe people would want something like that, or maybe not. Let me know. Okay. Hope you're all having a good day. Thank you for stopping by. And again, if you like what you see, please like and share and tell your friends to follow. And I will see you all soon.